They've been watching us for longer than we've existed. Not in a science fiction fantasy sort of way, but with the quiet patience of entities who have seen stars born and extinguished in the same breath. Long before humans lit their first fire, long before our ancestors even walked upright, they had already cataloged our planet. They knew Earth would someday stir with life. And they had protocols for that. What I'm about to tell you isn't a theory. It's not entertainment. It's a carefully veiled truth that leaks through the cracks of myth, folklore, and the so-called nonsense people whisper in the middle of the night. The truth is, we are part of a much larger ecosystem, one not bound to this solar system, nor even this galaxy. This is the truth of the Interstellar Council. Officially, it doesn't have a name we can pronounce. What we call the Interstellar Council is a human approximation. Think of it as a coalition, a vast alliance of advanced civilizations across multiple galaxies, unified not by conquest, but by preservation. They are not a government. They are not invaders. They are, for lack of a better word, custodians. Their mandate? To monitor the development of intelligent life, to observe, and only in rare moments, to intervene. Earth is one of thousands of planets under silent surveillance. Not for control. Not for exploitation. But because life, in all its forms, is a sacred variable in the equation of the cosmos. And humanity, unpredictable and volatile as we are, has become one of the most curious subjects in this ongoing experiment. Yes, experiment. Because that's exactly what we are. A project. Not in the sense of being artificially created, no. Our biological roots are native. But over millennia, subtle nudges, genetic, cultural, even spiritual, have been introduced. Have you ever wondered how human evolution seemed to leap forward in unpredictable bursts? Why civilizations separated by oceans built pyramids at the same time? Why, when we look back far enough, the lines between gods and stars begin to blur? These weren't coincidences. They were calibrations. The Council does not operate like anything we know. Their technology doesn't resemble machines. Their knowledge of physics surpasses ours so completely we would call it magic. They communicate through frequencies, fields of resonance that carry not only data but emotion and intention. In the rare cases when humans have made contact, usually through altered states of consciousness or near-death experiences, those who return are changed. They speak of beings not of flesh, but of light and thought. And they speak of the same thing again and again, the Watchers. The Watchers are a branch of the Council assigned to Earth specifically. They dwell in ships cloaked beyond detection in orbits we cannot trace. Some operate from dimensional layers we have not yet discovered. They do not interfere with our daily lives. But they log everything. Wars, peace, love, violence, kindness, despair, hope. To them we are not just a species. We are a case study. A volatile one. Their greatest debate, one that stretches across their network even now, is whether humanity will survive its adolescence. You see, to the Council, we are in a fragile window, the phase where a species learns to wield nuclear fire, but has not yet achieved spiritual maturity. Many civilizations in their database have failed at this stage. They either annihilate themselves or they submit to authoritarian control, stagnating for millennia. But there is something about us that keeps the Watchers invested. They speak of our defiance, of our capacity to love and destroy in the same breath, of our chaotic genius, the way we leap forward in the arts, in compassion, even in the face of extinction. They call us the wild flame, unstable but beautiful. And so we are left to develop, watched but untouched, mostly. There have been moments, critical ones, when the Council voted to act. Quietly. Without our awareness. The Cuban Missile Crisis. Chernobyl. Certain asteroids that statistically should have struck us. Even pandemics, yes, they were natural, but the mutations, the survivals, the strange resilience of certain populations? Some believe those were nudged. Not manipulated, but encouraged ever so gently by unseen hands. Why? Because the Earth is not just important for humanity. It is one of the rare planets where complex emotional consciousness has evolved organically. Most advanced species develop intellect first, emotion second. We did the reverse. This makes us unpredictable and dangerous, but also precious. The Council has protocols for what comes next. If we survive the next 100 years without destroying ourselves, if we develop even the slightest capacity for unity without domination, the Watchers will send a signal. A subtle one. A tone embedded in our radio chatter. A mathematical sequence impossible to ignore. It will not be a message to the governments because the Council does not acknowledge nations. It will be a message to the species. A quiet invitation. When it comes, we won't even know what it is at first. But those who are ready, those attuned to more than just material truth, will understand. And they will be the first to meet them. And then what? The moment humanity responds to the invitation, whether with curiosity, fear, or reverence, a new phase will begin. Not first contact in the Hollywood sense. There will be no mass landing, no armadas hovering above major cities. That kind of spectacle would fracture our civilization, not uplift it. The Council knows this. They've seen it happen before on other worlds. Instead, they will awaken something already seated within us. You see, we are not as isolated as we think. Hidden in our genome lie dormant codes, remnants from an era before memory, before recorded time. These are not extraterrestrial implants. They are gifts, keys to frequencies we were always meant to rediscover. The moment enough of us are ready, consciously and collectively, the codes will activate. Subtly at first, intuitive knowledge, unexplainable synchronicities, dreams that carry truth deeper than waking life. And then the veil will lift. We will begin to perceive what has always been around us, the ships beyond the sky, the thoughts that aren't ours, the gentle hum behind reality. The Council doesn't need to reveal themselves, they are already here. What we call contact is not them coming down to us. It's us rising up to them. This is the test. Not of science, not of faith, but of maturity. The Council has watched countless species approach this threshold. Some pass through and become part of the alliance, a voice in the eternal choir. Others fall back into fear and regress for eons. A few destroy themselves entirely. The Council does not intervene in those cases. They mourn, they learn, and they wait. For Earth, everything hinges on our choices in the coming decades. Will we build weapons in orbit or telescopes? Will we create AI to replace our minds or to amplify our wisdom? Will we continue to define ourselves by borders, ideologies, and fear? Or will we realize that we have always been a single organism, one species, one voice, one light waiting to be heard in the dark? The Watchers do not hope or despair. They observe. But among them, there are those who feel a kinship with us, beings who remember their own chaotic beginnings. They speak on our behalf. They argue for our potential. In their own way, they love us. And sometimes, late at night, in the quiet hum of deep space, they speak our name into the void. Not Earth, not humanity, but the ancient name they gave us long ago, a name that means the ones who burn bright in the dark. So what does this mean for you? It means that when you feel the ache of something beyond the stars, you are not imagining it. It means that when you dream of skies filled with silent ships or wake with a name on your tongue you've never heard before, you are not alone. It means that the strange, almost sacred moments in your life, when everything aligns, when time seems to stop, when you feel seen by something invisible, these are not glitches in your mind. They are echoes, signals, small reminders that you are being watched, not with judgment, but with infinite patience. Because the Council doesn't just monitor species. They monitor souls. Every choice you make matters, not just for you, but for the collective pulse of your kind. Every act of kindness, of creation, of courage, it sends ripples. And when those ripples align across millions of hearts, the Council notices. They are waiting for a frequency. Not perfection. Not unity. Just resonance. When enough of us hum at that same subtle note, when the chaos of our species begins to form a pattern, the Watchers will respond. Not with fanfare, not with salvation, but with recognition. And that will change everything. So ask yourself, what if it's all true? What if we are not alone? What if, right now, behind the sky and beneath the noise of daily life, a silent alliance of ancient minds is waiting, watching, hoping we rise? And what if you are one of the few who hears the call early? Then it's not just a story anymore. It's a responsibility. Because the experiment is still ongoing. And the Council is still listening.